Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to something a little different. So something's familiar, something a little bit different. It's no longer prop of the week, but we're doing props of the week. So guys, switch it, change the speed of it. Instead of one prop, we'll give you about five, give you more options to work with. And still gonna try to hit every single one. So no longer prop of the week, but props of the week. Still gonna give it to you quick, still gonna give it to you solid. And yeah, let's just hop into this. So prop of the week for UFC, or props of the week for UFC Fight Night, Whittaker versus the Ritter. And right into it. I'm gonna give you 5 props for this week, the props of the week for me in personal bets. But yeah, first one, Elikana sub is at plus 1200. Got that on DraftKings. Still should be around that value. Might have even went up because a lot of people aren't really feeling Elikana like that. So Elikana by sub is currently, well, when I got it plus 1200, it probably went up. I don't think it went down. I think it went up. So Elikana sub, when I got it was plus 1200. You might be able to get a better value. That's prop number 1. Prop number 2 is Blackshear by sub plus 200. He's a much younger fighter, much stronger. And when we look at Blackshear, majority of his wins have been by submission. He has no win in the UFC by KO. I don't think. Now he had like the KO win, but as far as I think it's more so on Davey Grant. Davey Grant has only been submitted in UFC. He has never been officially TKO in UFC. He's been dropped in UFC, I think, a couple times and rocked a couple times. But as far as finish, he's only been finished by submission. That was about 4 submission losses in the UFC. So about 4 submission losses in the UFC. And so he's mainly when he's finished, it's been by submission. So he's like pushing 40, fight a guy who's in the prime, 32 Blackshear, who should have a significant grappling advantage. And even a Sunsal fight, he was able to get the submission on a Sunsal in that fight, but a Sunsal was having a lot of success in the grappling. And that's the older Sunsal. Now he's in there with a solid young wrestler grappler like Blackshear, who's going to be able to put it on him for 15 minutes. And I think he could get it done and get that sub within the distance. So Blackshear by plus 200, I think that's a good value right there. And I think that's a great prop for the week, or a great prop to be associated with the props of the week for this channel and for this week. Next prop of the week, is Whittaker versus the Ritter to not start round 3 at plus 120. With Whittaker, really is with the Ritter. Like the Ritter, I don't expect him to. If Whittaker's really getting off on the Ritter, I don't think the Ritter going to be a guy that's going to be tanking shots for extended rounds. If he gets hit with one clean combination, like really flush, he hit with that head kick against his head, he's going to be done. I don't think he's going to survive too long. He's not going to survive to the 3rd round. And the same with Whittaker. If the Ritter, gets going, maybe catching with something and it hurts him, or is able to get him to the ground and have Whittaker underneath him, I think he gets Whittaker out of there again in under 3 rounds. So the fight to not start round 3. So it can end in the first, can end in the second. It just can't go to the 3rd or further. So that's at plus 120. So Whittaker versus the Ritter to not go to round 3 or not start round 3. So even if he gets stopped on the stool, that's it still catches. So between round 2 and 3, he gets stopped on the stool, still catches. But what I'm trying to say about that. And nothing about Whittaker. I was saying about the Ritter. The Ritter's not really a guy known for taking a lot of damage. So I don't expect him to take a lot of damage and go into the 4th, 5th round and showing some heart he never showed before. I don't expect that. And Whittaker, as we shown in the Kamza fight, when Kamza had him down, he got submitted, dominated there. When the Dricus Duplessis fight, the moment Dricus got on the ground, Dricus immediately did a lot of damage, and we saw Whittaker look like half the fighter he was after getting put on his back by a strong grappler. And the Ritter is in that same category. He's a big, strong grappler that can finish you in multiple ways on the ground. So Whittaker ends up underneath him. I think he's going to be a quick, short night for him. So either way, if Whittaker gets off on the feet real good, quick, short night for the Ritter. If the Ritter gets on top, quick, short night for Whittaker. So that under 3 is, I think, a good value. And to get that at plus money, I think that's a steal, plus 120. Whittaker versus the Ritter to not start round 3. 4th one is Liao by KO TKO. You're not really getting plus money with this, but it's minus 145. Liao's been looking great. Liao's like 31-32, so smack dab in his prime versus a 40-year-old Salikov who hasn't really shown durability and mainly a kicker. So, and Liao has shown durability, so Liao's not going to feel too concerned, get in that distance, beyond kicking distance, get up in his face, crack him big shots. And again, he has shown durability. He has been in there with big hitters, high-level strikers, and never really been super hurt in any fight. I don't think he's been stopped by TKO, to my recollection, especially not in no recent history. So Liao's a tank. He's very durable. Salikov is up there in age, very, not the most durable guy. And I think he's been knocked out, recently. Like his last 2 fights, he's been knocked out once. So he's been knocked out recently. He might be coming off a win, but he's been knocked out recently. He's going with a big, young, heavy hitter who's going to end a big, young, heavy, experienced hitter. Like Liao's not a guy, he just has 5 fights. Liao has like 30, 40 fights. So Liao's not no young, unproven guy. So he's an experienced guy. He's bigger, he's younger, hits harder. He's going to be able to get in that space, crack him. And I think in 3 rounds, it's plenty of time for him to put Salikov out. So Carlos Liao to get it done by KO in the distance. So not by submission, by KO is minus 145. I think that's a good prop. Not plus money, but I think it's one of the more likely to hit props on of the ones I mentioned. Then final one for this week is Saget Nurmagomedov by submission or decision at plus 120. And then we look at the majority, especially recently, of Saget Nurmagomedov's wins have been by submission. We've had all of the losses by Mitchell in the UFC outside of one has been submission. Like he's coming off submission loss. He got submitted by Deporia. He got submitted by John Silva. John Silva, his most recent loss, that was like two of his most recent losses. And then obviously the Emmett loss was a knockout, but majority gets submission. So, and I think Saget can get it done in the distance with that submission. And that, yes. And if he doesn't, I do think he could win a decision. So it's not just submission. I think the submission was like plus 200. But I do like submission or decision at plus 120. You know how these props have been going these past couple weeks. Like the knockout or finish be right there, and then they drag it to a decision. So I do think that Saget wins. Just straight off the top, I think he wins. But in the case that somehow it drags the distance, I still think Saget wins. And so whether it gets submission or decision, the prop still hits. If you go to distance, only thing that can happen is, obviously Saget losing or Saget getting KO. But again, Saget's been submitting people. He hasn't really knocked nobody out. So he's been submitting people. Mitchell has been getting submitted. Mitchell's cutting a lot of weight. I think Saget can get it by submission. And other way, most likely outcome if he wins is by decision. So submission or decision, both of those are covered for Saget there. And that value is plus 120. So I think that is a steal. I'm willing to sacrifice that 80 points or the $80 or whatever 80 value extra for the plus 200 to cover, again, if it's each pass and goes to a decision. So both ways, whether it be submission or decision for Saget, it is still hits. So that's plus 120. But how do you feel about the props of the week, Pro Smo?
Incredible, man. It's a lay. Every single one is a lay, man. You start with Ekalena for what? Plus 1400, plus 1200 to get a submission is not overreach, man. Is not far fetched either. Knowing that he took down what's this guy's name? Bogdan Guskov in their prior fight. And then you
Yeah.
have Leal by KO. Muslim Salikov looked terrible during the presser, during the weigh-ins. I mean, he's not even looking at the cameras. You have Blackshear by submission. I mean, we've seen Davy Grant on his back a lot. And, not only has he been submitted, but Davy Grant is cutting now for the third time in less than 200 days, if I'm not mistaken, less than 10 months. Less than 10 months, 3 weight cuts for an old man like that. That's crazy. And then said Nurmagomedov, what a surprise that would be, right? By decision. That one is quite tricky, man. I like the American Jiu-Jitsu play with a wrestler and Bryce Mitchell, so I'm looking forward to that. But all of this is a great league. Did I miss anything, man?
I think you got pretty much everything. You said
Let's go.
Alakana. Oh,
Let's
you think
get
the Whittaker versus the Rid. That's the one that you
beautiful,
missed.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful play. The Ritter got to get it out of there quick with a high kick to the head, right? Or taking his back quickly, And it's interesting because that's what the Ritter's looking like right now, man. It kind of taking up what Hamza Shimaev's done in the UFC, right? With going a few rounds with these guys, knowing that he can't hang for too long and having to go for a finish. So let's get it, man. Let's go. Props of the week.
Yep. And that's been prop of the week or props of the week. New name, new title, new thumbnail. Props of the week. Once again, me, King of Crackdown, and Pro Smoke Bets give you the props of the week. And we'll continue to give you the props of the week. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe to me and him. And catch y'all next time. Peace.